What's up, guys? Today I'm reviewing the 2020 BMW 7 Series 750i xDrive M Sport. Yes, I know that's a long name, but this is also a very long car, and I just want to thank my friend Brian for allowing me to review it today and take it out and get a feel for how it drives. And I'll actually be able to compare it to the Alpina B7 that I drove a few days ago. Hopefully we'll get a chance to do a new B7 eventually, but for now we've got this amazing 2020 7 Series, and let's go check it out. Alright guys, here she is, the 2020 BMW 7 Series 750i xDrive M Sport. Now that is definitely a mouthful, but as you can see, this is not a small car. So this is the G11 chassis code, or the 6th generation of the 7 Series, and this 2020 model is actually a facelifted version, and I'll say a heavy facelift for the 6th generation. So nothing too crazy on the inside. You'll see most of it's the same when we check it out later, but if you know from the green Alpina B7 that I just reviewed, the 2018, this 2020 is drastically different in front. Has a completely redesigned nose, and what you've probably heard about is the very controversial front grille, the two kidney grills, what used to be very small, and even on the big cars like the 7 Series and the X5 and X6, they were not that big. But BMW has put them on steroids this time. And they're huge, but honestly I can say it ties in together with the very bold front end, with the slimmer designed new LED headlights. And being that this has the M Sport package, you get the wider front openings, and then the lower air dam down here that has the parking sensors and radar sensor. And while it's definitely controversial, and on the new X7 it actually looks more appropriate and fitting, I will say that in person it looks pretty good. And walking around back, let's see, we have the same like hockey stick design. They've actually made it more modern this time. Nice gloss black to go with the gloss black wheels for the M Sport package. Continuing down here, now we've got similar taillights, but this time they've been redesigned along with the rear bumper. And there's a continuous light bar that goes all the way across that we'll check out. And of course the headlights and taillights are full LED, so no incandescent bulbs. And this vehicle is equipped with the full panoramic sunroof, which also has those incredible LEDs that are embedded inside the glass. And it's kind of funny, while driving the car to this spot to do the video, I noticed that the car feels like a big M5. And I know that might sound silly, but just the way everything feels, the dynamic feel of everything, like you'd expect in a classic M car, from the rear-wheel steering, the all-wheel drive working seamlessly with the 8-speed transmission, the ZF 8-speed, and then you have the 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8 up front that produces 523 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. And that torque comes in very low. This car really is a rocket ship considering its size and weight. So for the headlights, you have BMW's LED system here. We don't get the cool laser lights like they get in Europe, but it's a very nice design here. Got the projectors, and we'll turn those on in a second so you guys can see them. And you've got that extra big BMW emblem up front. I don't think it used to be that big on the previous 7 Series, but they definitely went bigger with everything this time around. And this vehicle looks great in the mineral white metallic with all the black accents, the black wheels. And one thing I noticed is that every time you get out of the car, close the door and start to walk away, the car actually locks itself. So that's why you can see that the power folding mirrors are in right now. Actually gives you a chance to see the part of the camera system here. You guys can see that. Very, very smart self-parking system. We've got another parking sensor here. And just unlike other modern BMWs and even Mercedes and Audis and Jaguars, you have the swipe function under the trunk, so if you have both hands full, you just kick your foot underneath and it opens up. Nice big trunk. And you could do the same thing, so you can either just close it here or lock it, but instead we'll do the kick function again. Here we go. And that's it. Very nice feature to have. Alright, so now let's get a look at those LED headlights and taillights. And you can see that the amazing red interior with all the quilting. For 2020, BMW really did a good job. You could get this stitching and piping before, but now they've added to the center console and the armrests. It's also all in the back. Alright, so let's turn on the headlights and the hazard lights. We got there. The nice full virtual display. So there's really no more physical parts. It's really just a big screen now. And you have that sensor in the middle up there by the M logo. That's actually a series of sensors and a few cameras that watch you when you're driving. And it actually just really improves on the autonomous driving experience. Alright. So of course you have soft closed doors. So you've got very bright indicators in the mirrors here. You see them all the way around. BMW never skimps on the LED technology. They always do an awesome job. So you've got the classic BMW halos or angel eyes, the daytime running lights. And then you have those 4 big projectors along with the turn signals on top. Looks very good. Get a little closer up look. So you can see from the side. Fully self-contained LED units. They're active. They're not the highest version of these lights you can get. And there's actually an even crazier version in Europe they call the laser light, BMW laser lighting. But these are still great for what they are. Alright, so now let's take a look around back. It takes us quite a while to walk to the back of the car. It's definitely a boat. Alright, so as you can see, the rear lights are also fully LED. Turn signals, reverse lights, running lights. And you have that very, very thin, kind of dim LED light bar running all the way across. I actually really like it. Light bars across the trunk are becoming more popular in cars. Porsche's doing it. Mercedes is going to start to do it soon. And it looks good on the new 7 Series. I wonder what the next generation 5 Series or 3 Series are going to look like. Being that this is only a facelift, this is definitely only the beginning for what BMW is going to be doing. Alright, so now we're going to jump inside and take a look at the interior. Turn off the hazard lights. Put the headlights back to auto. And let's start it up. So there's no crazy exhaust in this car. While it is the 4.4 liter twin turbo V8, there's really no exceptional exhaust note or any AMG experience or anything like that. So we got the start button over here. The soft closed doors. But one thing you notice right away, especially if you've seen videos or driven other 7 Series, is the gauge cluster is now completely digital. So it's just one big screen along with that sensor up there. There's no more physical parts with little screens inside them. It's just one big screen now and you can actually configure it. And like I said, the 2027 Series is really just a heavy facelift. More of a light facelift on the inside. Same steering wheel with the exception of a few pieces. All the same nice metal, buttons, door handle, the black piano wood trim. And this particular option my friend Brian has spec'd on his car is this amazing basket weave for the leather with the red leather interior. And you've got the black contrast stitching that goes around the whole interior. Up on the headrests. And then you've got this crazy woven piping going all the way down the seats. You can see that a lot on Alpinas too. You've got that same basket style stitching here along with the back. Looks very, very nice. And this car, if you saw my video on the Java Green 2018 B7, it actually has all the same ambient lighting, technology features, self-parking. This one actually is a little bit updated on the autonomous driving front. As you can see, that sensor up there. But as far as the infotainment goes, like the xDrive and all that, it's really kind of the same. So you got your navigation, media, map, or your vehicle options. Let's see what we got here. So we'll go to car. And actually, it's also touchscreen, and it's pretty responsive, to be honest. So we'll go to, let's see, BMW store. So it's kind of like a big iPhone. So it's got weather. If you don't want that, you can go back. Experience modes. Not sure what that is. That's similar to the energizing comfort modes in the Mercedes-Benz. So you got executive, changes the ambient lighting, temperature, seat ventilation, sun protection. And you got expressive, well-being, end mode, exit atmospheric world. Not sure what that is. It's not even highlighted. Let's go to executive. So right now it's closing all the sunshades. It put the seat ventilation on both seats on low and actually just changed the temperature. So let's go to expressive. Right now it's opening the sunshades, all of them. It changed the ambient lighting to red, I guess for sunlight. Let's see what well-being does. Alright, it's closing everything. It put the seat heating on, which I really don't want on a hot day like this. And it put the massager on. Kind of cool. And end mode, exit atmospheric world. Not really sure what that means. I guess that means you just turned everything off. Okay, everything just went back to normal. That's gimmicky, but pretty cool. Cool party trick to show off passengers. Well, really, aside from a few new tech features and mainly that amazing gauge cluster, not much has changed in the 6th generation of the 7 Series, or G11/G12 for long wheelbase. Still got the big panel roof, this like cloth material on the headliner, the nice piano black wood on the grab handles. Yeah, pretty much everything is the same. Shifter, all the buttons here for the cameras. Oh, and something I noticed earlier that's kind of freaky. So if you put the car in reverse, so now you've got the surround view camera and everything top down, you can go to any angle, show a 3D version of the car. But that is not the craziest thing. So if you just turn the wheel, it actually turns the camera. I'm guessing that's just so you have a better field of view when parking and it's more active. But that is really something else. And putting the car to drive, the front camera does it too. That's not the car turning, that is the camera. The lens is actually turning. I'm not moving at all. But the camera is looking over there. So I got the wheel turned all the way, you can see that truck. And now you see more of the fence. That is a cool feature. Alright, so a cool feature I just found is backup assistant. And I've heard about this in articles and I've seen it in some reviews. And I'm actually going to try to do it. Let me see if I can turn the cameras on and get squeezed past this fence. It's a big car, but it is very easy to drive. Alright, so we found some parking spots out here. Let's see if we can back into one of these. Alright, so let's see. Go back up, and I'll go to backup assistant. Start driving, observe surroundings, and brake manually. Oh, so parking cancels do not. Okay, so try it again. Now the steering wheel, these indicators just came on, so it's doing something by itself. So we've got 163 feet, so now we're just going to start driving. It's doing this completely by itself. It's doing something. Oh. It found what it thinks is a spot, and it is. Alright, I don't know how it's doing this. Alright, and that's it. Alright, so now I've got automatic parking on. It's going to attempt to find a spot. To start parking, come to a spot, select parking space. Alright, so we'll select it. It just put the turn signal on, and it wants me to fasten the seatbelt. So, I'm going to do that. Guess it needs me to be safe while I park. Now that I fasten my seatbelt, take his hands off steering wheel and release brake. Okay. Okay, this is freaky. Even weirder than the E63 the other day. Still got the turn signal on. Okay. I am not doing a thing. You can see the car. And that's it. It just parked perfectly next to this Mustang. I did not believe that. So one thing I just found that's pretty cool is this caring car feature. And it consists of 2 3-minute relax and vitalize programs that adjusts the climate control, lighting, and music. So let's see what it does. So right now we've got just a regular radio. So we'll go to vitalize. It turned the music off. It's opening the sunshade. It changed the ambient lighting to green. It's blasting me with cold air. So now let's try relax. So now it's closing the shade. That's pretty cool, actually. Another gimmick, but cool technology nonetheless. Alright, so right now we're driving the 2020 BMW 750i xDrive M Sport. And right away, it feels similar to the 2018 Alpina B7 that I just drove, and other 7 Series I've driven in the past. But aside from the electric power steering being very light in the current comfort mode, if I put it in sport, the air suspension stiffens up, the throttle response becomes sharper, the downshifts happen sooner, and the steering becomes noticeably tighter. So let's put it in sport. And now with over 500 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, it's actually still less than the Alpina B7. But even so, this car feels very light on its feet thanks to the all-wheel drive and the rear-wheel steering. So you change direction very quickly. And honestly, it's just a big, comfortable car to drive. Similar to my S-Class and other large luxury cars in the segment. When it comes to all the technology and the comfort and the convenience of it, you really can't go wrong. And just the way that it rides, even in sport mode. Actually, I'm going to put it back into comfort. The bolsters on the seats actually loosen up a little bit. And that rear-wheel steering feels really good. Especially right now we're on a perimeter road on the Fort Lauderdale Airport. And you can really feel the rear-wheel steering doing its thing. It's just, you know, it's playful when it wants to be. Similar to the M5. That's why I called this car a big M5 earlier. Because it really is just like that. And it's nice and quiet. You can talk very low. You can almost whisper. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I'm whispering. And yeah, you get the point. It's a very intimate setting. And right now I'm going over a whole series of bumps and dips and undulations in the road. And the car soaks it up effortlessly. Like they're not even there. I'm watching the car in front of me bounce. And I'm just casually riding over it like a wave. Or a cloud of air. Really is something else. I'm not intentionally hitting potholes, but there's not many places I can go on this one lane road. But it feels good. Alright, so right now I've got the car in comfort mode. Got the air ventilated seats on. And you probably heard that bump or felt it in the camera. I, however, did not. The car soaked it up really quite effortlessly. And as I'm going around these corners here at the perimeter road here at the airport, the car really just, you know, it glides into curves with no issues whatsoever. The rear wheel steering is really doing its job. What do we got in sport mode now? We take it down a little back street. And the pickup is really second to none. Plenty of torque and horsepower from that 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. And right now we're going to make a little U-turn. This is really where that rear wheel steering comes in handy. Very, very tight U-turn. Alright, so that rear wheel steering really coming in handy. And I've got it in sport mode, and even on this back street that has lots of potholes and undulations in the road, the suspension soaks it up no problem. The car just gets up and goes like nothing else. For such a big, heavy car, it really is quite astounding. So right now we're on the perimeter road of an airport. Can't exactly go fast, but there's lots of tight turns, some technical curves here to kind of like show off the car's rear wheel steering. And you don't even really have to go wide open throttle. You kind of just roll into it, and the torque is always there at low RPMs. It's quite astonishing. Just the way that it changes direction really is effortless. And you definitely feel the weight. Well, it does a good job at trying to hide its mass. There's no doubt that it's a big car. It's not an M5, it's not an M3 or an M4, or certainly not an M2. And it's no Porsche 911. But the fact that you can have a car this luxurious and with this many creature comforts and amenities, and that's still this fun to drive for what it is, that's quite an accomplishment for BMW. So like I'm in sport mode going over all these bumps in the road, and I don't even really feel them. We're having a little section to open it up here. So here's just a quick sport mode. Here's a little sprint. I mean, it gets to 70 like nothing. You throw it into a corner, you know it's going to come out on the other end. There's very minimal body roll, especially in sport mode. The air suspension is very well tuned. BMW did a good job with that. It's constantly adjusting itself. You can feel it. The steering is nice and tight. Let's see a little burst here. Yeah, there's just no shortage of torque. Power is always there when you want it on demand. It's very snappy. Here's a nice sharp corner here. It really is effortless. You don't have the active bolsters like you get in Mercedes, but the seats still hug you nice, and in sport mode the bolsters actually adjust to your body, so they kind of, you know, hug you as much as they can. They're not active, but they do adjust in that way. This car in front of me is kind of slowing me down, but that's the thing though. In a luxury car, it's okay if you're driving slow, you know? It's relaxing. Alright guys, well that should do it for this review of the 2020 BMW 7 Series 750i xDrive M Sport. Once again, I want to thank my friend Brian for allowing me to take his new 7 Series out to get a feel for how it drives and to show you guys all the latest technology. See you next time.